July 1991. The always clean Mexican Raul Alcala of the always clean Dutch PDM team, a rider who had finished 8th in the last 2 Tour de France and who had already beaten the legendary Miguel Indurain in a time trial in the Grand Boucle, abandoned, together with the monster Eric Breukink and his teammates, after an EPO overdose was sold to the press as an intoxication or simple food poisoning just before the hard mountain stages of that edition. In May 2002, the semi-unknown Mexican Julio Alberto Perez Cuapio of the legendary Ceramica Panaria doping team wins 2 epic victories ahead of such monsters as Fernando Escartin, Dario Frigo or Francesco Casagrande on the summits of the Giro d'Italia, landing the Maglia Verde as the best climber of the Italian round. And now, in January 2024, Mexico is back on everyone's lips thanks to the new figure of Tadej Pogacar's team, the 20-year-old Isaak Del Toro, who is already becoming a viral phenomenon in his country, and who is seen as the first Central American cyclist from the south of North America capable of winning the Tour de France. How much truth is there in these claims? Today, you'll learn 3 reasons why you should keep this young rider in mind for the coming seasons. The first reason is undoubtedly his clear upward trajectory in such a very short time, following examples such as Remco Evenepoel or Egan Bernal or Jonas Vingegaard. At only 17 years old, the young man born in Ensenada decided to settle in the ideal place to transform himself cycling-wise, just as did the alopecia-stricken Bjarne Riis in 1993 or the American Lance Armstrong in 1995. I'm talking, of course, about the outskirts of Italy, in San Marino. There, Isaak stayed for 2 seasons until, in 2023, he took the great leap forward, finishing 3rd in the Giro Ciclistico della Valle d'Aosta during the month of July. And then came a terrifying week in the Tour de l'Avenir, where the young Mexican monster achieved his first victory as an amateur, and no more and no less than on the Col de la Loze, the very same hard mountain where his current teammate Tadej Pogacar suffered a horrible fainting in the Tour de France 2023. And as if that wasn't enough, he finished 2nd in 3 other stages and 3rd in the individual time trial of the event, managing to win with total sufficiency, and not only the yellow jersey of the leader of the general classification, but also triumphing in the youth classification, the King of the Mountains, and the green jersey of the points. In other words, Del Toro, a guy with no victories in Europe until 6 months ago and who had suffered a hard femur fracture in 2022, managed to crush all the favourites. And not only that, he managed to enter the UCI World Tour as a professional with one of the best teams in the world, UAE Team Emirates, for whom he signed just days after winning the Tour de l'Avenir, signing until the 2026 season, a masterful move by the always clean but sometimes dirty Mauro Gianetti. A move that has already had its first consequences in the first weeks of the 2024 season. And the second reason why we have to look at Isaak Del Toro right away is because of the UAE Team Emirates team manager's taste for giving the best treatment, training and medicine to the youngest members of their teams. Jose Antonio Fernandez Machin has never hidden the fact that what he really likes about his job as a director is spotting talent, and he always likes to instill his famous Machin formula, capable of making specimens like Ricardo Rico or Poggi himself fly from the moment they first rode a bike amongst the professionals. Or sometimes, should they go wrong, capable of destroying careers like that of the Basque Arkaitz Duran or the Colombian Andres Camilo Ardila, who in 2019 was one of the biggest promises in the world, winning the Giro d'Italia for amateurs. But a rider who, to this day, has had to return to Colombia without achieving even one single victory as a professional. In UAE Team Emirates, they're not afraid to use their young promises as guinea pigs, and therefore we know that Isaak Del Toro has really felt the benefits of stealth preparation from the Emirati team, sleeping in the hyperbaric chamber hotels of Alexander Kolobnev in La Nucia, Alicante. That's where he tasted how the professionals spend their time, and he tasted it as early as December 2023. After a family Christmas, Del Toro found that having accepted the offer from UAE Team Emirates, and not from other declining teams such as Movistar, Well, the key would not only be for his financial benefit, but also his physical one. Gianetti and Machin didn't hesitate to make the young Mexican cross the globe and place him on the starting line of the first World Tour race of the year, the Australian Santos Tour Down Under. And while there, Rohan Dennis was making the front pages of the newspapers after attending the funeral of his wife that he had supposedly killed accidentally just days before, Isaak Del Toro was demonstrating the benefits of the incredible increase in red blood cells provided by the hyperbaric chambers by finishing third on January the 13th in Adelaide in the Criterium Down Under Classic, a race prior to the Santos Tour Down Under. But it was there on his World Tour debut that he really came into his own, showing off to the world on only his second day as a pro. After making several attacks throughout the day and reading the race masterfully, Del Toro made a powerful attack in Loberthal under the Flamme Rouge and managed to beat the peloton of needy wolves like Caleb Ewan or Biniam Girmay, taking his first victory as a pro in the World Tour. Suddenly, millions of Mexican fans who had been hiding away for years without any top-level cycling representatives pulled out their scarves as if they were cheering for the tricolor soccer team, and they began to treat Del Toro like a demigod. And it's here that I want to link to the third and most decisive factor for Isaak Del Toro's success as a cyclist. Yes, the 20-year-old has the pressure of a whole country of almost 130 million people supporting him and following his every move. And that, dear friends of the channel, only translates into huge amounts of money. Machin and Gianetti have done it again. They know that although Del Toro is not yet ready to win a race as hard as the Tour de France, something that can be seen with defeats such as the one suffered against Oscar Onley on Wollonga Hill due to a bad reading of the race, typical of someone with his inexperience, they know that despite this he can be a money-making machine. Del Toro can bring the passion of cycling to a country that worships sporting idols, a place which is an orchard for brands that live in this world, even for the UCI of the felon David Lappartient. They have a close eye on Central America as one of their objectives, along with Africa, where they continue taking dark money in a big way by exploiting the figure of a charismatic athlete, as it seems to be the case of Del Toro. But if he is intelligent and makes good decisions throughout his career, this will come to pass. The UCI has always protected the most charismatic cyclists, from Bernard Hinault to Lance Armstrong. And if Del Toro knows how to move through the sewers, he will be a clear candidate to win the Tour de France in a few years. But for the time being, let him grow, because we will see results much, much quicker than we think.